we'll quote, the great Winston Churchill. This is not the end. This is not the beginning of the end. It may perhaps be the end of the beginning. So, we're not at the very beginning anymore. But, I used to say, we're kind of in the first inning. And then I realized we weren't even in the first inning, right? The players hadn't even entered the stadium. And now, maybe we've entered the stadium. We're about to have the national anthem. But we are at year one of a 14-year cycle in the emergence of what I'll call the truth net.
Mark Yusko, a prominent hedge fund manager, cryptocurrency advocate, and founder of Morgan Creek Capital Investments, foresees a transformative shift in 2025 that could redefine the financial landscape. He predicts the year will mark the beginning of the end for the traditional financial system, which he critiques as an exploitative trust-based model benefiting a select few at the expense of the many. Yusko envisions blockchain technology as the remedy, ushering in a truth system characterized by transparency and verification accessible to anyone, anytime, anywhere. This paradigm shift, he believes, will empower cryptocurrency investors and liberate individuals from the inequities of the traditional financial order, reinforcing his long-standing advocacy for Bitcoin as an essential investment. In a recent interview with 3T Warrior Academy, Yusko highlighted a recurring 14-year cycle of technological innovation, with each phase introducing transformative advancements. He refers to the upcoming phase as the rise of the TruthNet, a blockchain-centered evolution that began this year and is poised to expand significantly by 2025. Drawing on historical milestones such as the introduction of the mainframe computer in 1954, the microchip in 1968, the personal computer in 1982, the Internet in 1996, and mobile Internet in 2010, Yusko identifies blockchain technology as the next monumental breakthrough in this cycle. This emerging truth net promises to reshape not only technology but also societal structures. Looking ahead, Yusko is optimistic about investment opportunities in sectors primed to benefit from blockchain advancements. He believes the forthcoming venture capital wave could be one of the most promising in decades, particularly in areas like blockchain, artificial intelligence, computing infrastructure, and big data. This cyclical pattern of innovation, he argues, consistently brings forth technologies that fundamentally alter society, and blockchain's potential to democratize access and enhance transparency places it at the forefront of this revolution.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
This is just an evolution of computing. Computing started in 1954 with the mainframe computer. It was the biggest building. And then 14 years later, there was an innovation out in Silicon Valley, and 68, the microchip. And so you could make computers as big as this room. And then 14 years later, there's another innovation up in Seattle where I grew up. And now you could have personal computers. Steve Ballmer's mom famously said, "Honey, why would you work for that company? No one would want a computer in their house." He has 18 billion reasons he was right, mom was wrong. But mom wasn't wrong. Mom was just talking the talking points of what came out of the DEC, Digital Equipment Corp. CEO's mouth in 1976, that no one would ever want a computer in their house. Well, why did he say that? Well, because he sold computers that were as big as a building. So, of course, he doesn't want you to have a little computer. And so the incumbents will always fight against innovation, and they'll always rail against it and say it's unnecessary. And 14 years later, 1996, I got the Fighting Irish sign above me, and I'll be up there on Friday for the Indiana State Championship, where we play Indiana. And so what's interesting, in 1996, you could invest in this thing called the Internet. And the Internet, if you saw the clip of Katie Couric and Brian Gumbel, they're sitting there going, what is this Internet? What is that @ symbol? And Paul Krugman famously said, it'll never be more important than the fax machine. Maybe it's more important than the fax machine. And the Internet was a big deal. And Web 1 created about $2 trillion of value. And it lasted 14 years. And there was an innovation around mobile. And the mobile net in 2010 And I actually remember, it's interesting. I remember being back in Seattle where I grew up at Craig McCaw's house for a venture event. And I asked this family office guy, I think, do you think the mobile net is going to be as big as the internet? He said, Mark, you joking? Ask people if they want a computer, like whatever. Ask them if they want a phone. They're like, I already have two. I don't need another one. So yeah, the mobile net's going to be bigger than the internet. And my aha moment was the first time I bought a plane ticket sitting at a red light, right? 90 seconds. And I was able to tap, 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 buy a plane ticket. I'm like, yeah, this is a big deal. So Web 2 created $5 trillion of value. And remember, a trillion, right? No one shudders when you use the T word anymore. A trillion is we'd have to stay on air for 31,710 years, which would be really painful, right? I mean, I'm a funny guy, but I'm not that funny. So 31,710 years with me would be not fun. And we'd have to spend $1 every second. That's 1 trillion. So we created 5 trillion. Well, now here we are in 2024, or at the end of 2024. So we're 1 year into the next 14-year cycle. Now, a couple things. Why is it always 14 years? Well, it's always 14 years because young people, because it's half a generation, young people create everything new, right? Old people like me don't create stuff. We may build things and we may help grow things, but young people don't know what they don't know. They can imagine the unimaginable. So they're the ones that invent new things. And so that innovation cycle keeps going. And here we are in what I don't call it the truth net. Well, we're replacing trust with truth. We've had 839 years of the trust industry. What's the trust industry? Financial services. So what did the internet do? Well, the internet busted the monopoly of government-owned and state-sponsored media. So media was controlled by governments, either directly or indirectly, and the internet busted that monopoly wide open. So all the value used to be in the 3 big television channels, ABC, NBC, CBS. When I was growing up, right, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, I was in front of my television with my TV tray, with my Swanson dinner, watching Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. Owned me. Like I was there. They owned my eyeballs, all the ads, everything, because I was going to be there at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night watching that show. Well, now I can watch a show anytime I want, anywhere I want, on any device I want. So all of that value went to Netflix because of this thing called the internet.
There has always been a natural struggle between the old and the new, particularly during transitional periods. History has witnessed this with the shift from horse-drawn carriages to automobiles, the traditional telecom industry to internet-based communication, and now, from the trust-based traditional financial system to the truth-based blockchain system. Mark Yusko refers to this tension as the now they fight you phase, borrowing from a popular, albeit misattributed, quote often linked to Mahatma Gandhi. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. Yusko argues that as transformative technologies like blockchain gain traction, they inevitably face resistance from established institutions and stakeholders who view them as threats to the status quo. This resistance takes the form of regulatory challenges, negative media narratives, and efforts to discredit the technology. Yusko sees this opposition as a validation of blockchain's disruptive potential within the financial sector. The very act of established entities fighting against Bitcoin and digital assets underscores their transformative power. However, he cautions that the struggle is far from over, and it may take several more years before the entrenched traditional financial industry fully succumbs to this revolutionary shift. Here are additional clips from the interview.
Now, media and commerce, those are big industries, right? Trillions of dollars, but they're tiny compared to financial services. Financial services, orders of magnitude bigger. Right? We're talking about stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. And everybody's like, the stock market, oh, that's so big. The bond market is 10 times bigger than the stock market. And the currency market is another 10 times bigger than that. So 100 times bigger. And so we're talking about massive industries. And 839 years ago, the Medicis kind of borrowed this idea from the Portuguese monks, the Knights Templar, and created fractional reserve banking. And that process, okay, now extracts, I use that term intentionally, $7 trillion, there's the T word again, dollars a year from all of us, okay? Because we have to trust. Like I have this recurring nightmare. It doesn't happen like every day or every week, but maybe once a year, something like that, that I go to the ATM and I punch in my code and it says 0. Now, this actually happened to some people with Bank of America about a month, maybe 2 months ago, and because they had a computer glitch. And I'm like, well, how would I prove that my account balance isn't 0? I don't have a statement. I haven't had a statement in years.
Right.
It's their word against mine. And, they could lie. Now, the reality is that trust works most of the time, right? Anyone listening to us right now probably has money in the bank, okay? Most of us don't realize it's not our money anymore. It's the bank's money. And we have an IOU, and that IOU works most of the time. But if they wanted to, they could confiscate it all, right? Happened to the people in Cyprus 12 years ago, 13 years ago. So this process, it's a long-winded way of saying that I'd rather have truth than trust, right? If my money is my money, right? If I want to send Abs up in Boston some money to get him a heavy coat since his blood's so thin from living in Florida for so long, I want to send him some money. He has to have a bank account. I have to have a bank account, and I'm going to pay a fee, a wire transfer fee, to send him money. That seems really dumb because with a few taps of keystroke, I can send him Bitcoin or XRP or anything else, stablecoin, instantaneously. I don't have to bank account. He doesn't have to bank account. And we don't have to trust anybody because we have truth on a ledger. That is a superior system. So what's going to happen is the entire financial services industry, that clip that you played, every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, everything is eventually going to migrate to the digital world. And it will take this $7 trillion a year and make it liberated. Now, what happens when you liberate capital? People do really cool stuff, right? Human creativity is the most powerful force on the planet. That's why innovation is so important. So all of this is to say that we're early. But you talked about the clip, 5 years ago. So I'm on CNBC. And while I was on the show, which was only like 6 minutes, the price fell like 10, 15%, and it hit $8,000. And Melissa, who I love, and I've been on her show lots and lots of times, she says, well, what should we do? I buy it. Oh, no, you'd always say that. Buy it today, buy it tomorrow, buy it next week, buy it next month. Don't buy it all right now. So everyone here should be accumulating.
Critics often compare the cryptocurrency industry to the much older and well-established traditional financial system, which includes asset classes like equities and bonds. However, the crypto industry has only been around for 15 years, and its rapid development shows that we are still early in realizing its full potential. When crypto investors say we are still so early, they're recognizing the vast growth opportunities ahead. For Mark Yusko, the maturation of cryptocurrency means more than just rising asset values or institutional interest. It represents the liberation from the exploitative trust system of traditional finance. Yusko believes we are transitioning from the old trust-based financial system to a trustless, permissionless system powered by blockchain technology. This shift is poised to transform how we interact with money, investments, and value itself. Yusko sees 2024 as the beginning of the blockchain revolution, a transformation that will affect all aspects of our lives. He envisions a future where all forms of investment, including stocks, bonds, and collectibles, will be digitized and stored on the blockchain. With this digital shift, price gains and mainstream adoption are expected to follow, making it a highly lucrative opportunity for those involved. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.